What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Dude Hines Show. In this video, I am live on YouTube, like every single video I do. In this video, I want to be talking about, the recent move that the Cincinnati Bengals made and releasing running back Giovani Bernard. Giovani Bernard, during his time with the Bengals, has been a fan favorite. He's played with the Bengals for 8 seasons. And, it kind of caught some people off guard when this move happened because, it was released just a little over a week ago, and there were some talks that, multiple teams were interested in Giovani Bernard. There's a possibility the Bengals could possibly trade him and get something in return. And that was actually not the case at all. And, he spent 8 seasons with Cincinnati. And it's just really crazy. He's been here so long. He asked for his release, but according to Mike Garafolo from NFL Network, he asked for his release, but the team had him to take a pay cut. That kind of had a factor in why Bernard was cut. I mean, in a way, I can guess why. I can understand why you would release him rather than, trading him, because if we release him, he can at least kind of say where he, wants to play next. He's been a vital piece of the offense for quite some time. He was a second-round pick in 2013 from North Carolina. He was a part, one of those draft picks along with Drake Kirkpatrick from the Carson Palmer trade years ago when we absolutely robbed the Raiders by getting a first and second-round pick for Carson Palmer. His decline in play, he's been declining the past couple of years in his play, but this past season he actually started 10 games for us because, Joe Mixon was out due to a season-ending injury. And this past season, he had 47 receptions for 355 yards with 3 receiving touchdowns. He also had 124 rushing attempts for 416 yards and 3 touchdowns. So 6 touchdowns on the year, probably around 800 total yards on the year. He also split time with carries this past season with Samaje Perine. That was kind of another reason why I believe the Bengals, released Bernard, because, Perine, split carries with Bernard. And in the offseason, the Bengals actually signed running back Samaje Perine to a 2-year deal. And, the backfield was getting crowded with the Bengals. They have Mixon, Bernard, Samaje Perine, and Trevion Williams. Trevion Williams showed some promise last season in the limited carries, and so did Samaje Perine. And something else to look at, as of March 25th, going into the 2021 season, the Bengals were actually paying $15.9 million towards their running back committee. That is the most, was the most in the NFL. And that's just absolutely crazy because, I understand, maybe being at the top of the list for a certain position, but you never want to be, paying top dollar for running backs because running backs are just so easy to replace. You look at, you can get a 5th or 6th round running back and he can have really nice production, like a top 12 running back. But, so $15.9 million going into the season. That's obviously not the case now because we saved $4.1 million by releasing Bernard. While Bernard was with us, he had 6,564 offensive yards, along with 33 touchdowns. And 8 years with us, it's just really crazy to think that Bernard, Green, Dalton, Dunlap, Atkins, Sean Williams, just Eifert, everybody's gone, it seems like now. And, especially you look at Zach Taylor's first game with the Bengals, we played the Seahawks. Andy Dalton threw for 400 yards. That's the first time Dalton threw for 400 yards in his career, and that was the first game with Zach Taylor. And it kind of showed some promise. The Bengals, might be decent. We end up having the first pick overall, and pretty much all those guys on the 2019 opening roster, it seems like for the most part, are gone now. And speaking of gone, you look at the back of the 2015 roster, which is one of our best teams ever, despite us not winning a playoff game. CJ Uzomah is the only player on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball who is still on the active roster. We do also have Clark Harris and Kevin Huber, the team as well, both on special teams. But it's just really crazy. All of our players who've been with us for nearly a decade are just leaving now. It's pretty upsetting when you actually think about it. But you think about the Bengals running back committee right now. So with Bernard gone, it leaves us with Joe Mixon, Trevion Williams, and Samaje Perine. Perine, like I said, is locked up for 2 years. Mixon has a few years in his contract left, and Trevion Williams has 2 years in his deal left. I would not be against us drafting a running back at all. I was actually for us drafting a running back in the later rounds, even before this news broke out with us releasing Bernard. A couple of running backs I would really like for us to get are, it doesn't really matter which one, preferably just one of these three. I'd be happy with any of the three. Brendan Knox or Marshall. I do not know the exact stats, but I know he's had to average around 100 rushing yards a game for his career. Really productive, really overlooked because, playing at Marshall, not a top-tier program. And I think he'd be a really nice pickup, maybe in the 7th round. Or, we do also have 2 6th-round picks. I would really like for us to get a running back, one of those 6th-round picks. Another running back I like a lot is Elijah Mitchell, the running back from Louisiana. Similar to Knox, he's not getting really the credit he deserves because he's playing at a really, really small school like Louisiana. And lastly, Davion Hawkins, the running back from Louisville. Hawkins is really, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Bernard. He's not tall by any means. He's around 5'8", 5'9". Really, he's a small guy, but he's really fast and everything. I'd be really, really, really happy if we get any 3 of those running backs. Like, to me, I was really hoping we would get one of those 3 running backs, before, as when Bernard was still officially on the team. But now since Bernard's, off the team and everything, I would really like for us to get one of those guys. So, overall, I understand us releasing Bernard. I still wish we could have traded him instead, but I totally understand why we didn't. We go on his own terms. He's done so much for, Cincinnati and our team. So we can at least, release him, basically reward him in a way by letting him choose where he, dictates to play where he'll play, next season instead of us, just trading him to a team and him may not being happy. But in that aspect, I get it, but I don't know. I'm kind of in between. I still also would have liked a pick in return, maybe a 4th or 5th round pick, which obviously that probably would not have happened anyway. But by that move, we save $4.1 million. Really, really hoping, with some of this money we saved, we can maybe get a guard. I know lots of people want Trey Turner. I would much rather have Larry Warford. He did not play this past season. But in 2019, he was ranked the 11th best guard according to Pro Football Focus. While he was with the New Orleans Saints, he's been in the Pro Bowl a couple of times. And I would just rather have Larry Warford over Trey Turner. If we get Trey Turner, I wouldn't be totally upset. But I just really think, with us releasing Bernard and, us saving over $4 million, we could definitely use a nice, reliable offensive guard, or maybe even get a guy like Ryan Kerrigan. I've mentioned numerous times, I think Ryan Kerrigan is a possible fit for us. I think it makes quite a bit of sense. We still need some edge help. He spent time with our defense coordinator, Lou Onamaro, while he was with Purdue in college. So I really hope with the money we save by doing this, we'll go after a nice free agent. So, this was kind of my, me talking about Giovani Bernard being released by the Cincinnati Bengals. I have lots of videos coming out. I'm starting the series again of doing a mock draft for each NFL team post free agency. The Texans and the Falcons videos should be coming out within a maybe today or something like that. And then the Bengals will come followed by those. And I'll also be talking about, I have a video, the perfect spot where Teddy Bridgewater will go to. With me talking about quarterbacks, where they'll go to. So far, I've been pretty right. It's pretty much spot on. I called Haskins to the Steelers. I said the 49ers would trade it for Zach Wilson, which that's not going to happen. But I did say they were going to trade it for a quarterback. That's obviously going to happen. And I did also say Carson Wentz would go to the Colts months before it actually happened. So make sure to check out that video and see where, I think Bridgewater will go to. Because, the way I'm going, I possibly could be right, who knows and everything. So thank you all so much for watching this. If you like this video and subscribe to the channel, I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Sports 200 Show.